Recording? All right. Hey guys, been getting a lot of questions lately about like how long do we spend on training, when do I do my sessions, how many times a day, things like that. You got to stop looking at training your dog as always doing sessions. The sessions are great when you're teaching certain behaviors to a dog that they've never learned before, and you're doing repetitions of like sit, 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 or place, 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 place. But once you kind of have that out of the way, and you're trying to bring everything together, and you're working on fixing, relax, bud, behavior problems, you gotta put it into your day-to-day life, right? So like Miko's here for board and train. Onyx is here for board and train. These boarding dogs are here, right? And like when we get them out for potty breaks, just simple things like potty breaks, we're making them practice everything they know. From coming out of the crate calmly, to going through doorways properly, not pulling on the leash, going out for the potty break, not pulling on the leash, right? Not fixating on things, not practicing all this behavior that we don't want. So if I want this dog to be successful in his training process, or if his owner wants him to be successful, it all has to be done just like that. Teaching the dog what they should or should not be doing, giving them guidance through all these things. If you work at doing individual sessions where you're doing like specifically working on that thing only, and then outside of that you don't work on anything, your dog's not going to figure it out. Right? You got to put it into your everyday life and the way that you live with your dog and the things that you do with them. You're teaching them that you're doing these things together, and then that they need to be paying attention and taking the guidance from you, and they need to find value in that. You can't just punish them. You need to show them the things that you want them to do and reward them for the things you want them to do, whether you reward with food, right? So I'm about to get Miko out, and I have the pouch on. I have food with me. We're going to go outside. Might not even see a dog, right? But there's going to be stuff that's going to catch his attention, and I have to teach him that I don't want him to worry about all that stuff. We can go potty, right? We can go outside, go potty, and you can stay focused on me. We could go for a walk. We could do anything, right? I might go outside and give him a walk around the building, and that whole time I'm teaching him to like not be pulling on the leash. Don't worry about the birds. Don't worry about the squirrels. Don't worry about the cars going by. You know, just be with me on this walk. If you do, maybe some rewards come. Maybe we come back inside and start a game. Maybe we do something else, right? And that's just living with him. It's not treating it as a training session all the time or looking at it that way. Just do the things with your dog that you naturally do day to day, but do them properly, right? So getting him out, I have to get his collar on him, then I have to get the leash on him. Once all that's on him, right, he's got to be invited out of the crate. He doesn't just come out on his own. So I'll get his prong collar on him. I'll get the leash on him. He's in the crate. He's not invited out yet. So if he just tries to come out, I might apply leash pressure, or I might close the door. He's patient. Let's go, bud. I invite him out. Now I need to finish setting up the leash. So he knew that because we've been doing this every time. He automatically sat. I finished setting up the leash, get it squared away. Now we're good to go, right? Now I'm going to start coming out. He tries to just run through the doorway. I stop him. I make him sit. We go forward. There's another threshold here. I want the same thing. He offered good sit for me. Now we go through here. And I have a series of doors coming out every single time. I want to teach him that I want him to walk with me the whole time. Right? I don't just let him run to the door and be super impulsive and excited and then let him through the door. We walk through the door together. I open the gate, he waits, we can go through. Get to the next door. It's like a gauntlet here. He's got to show patience every time, just like that. Right? And my motion is a signal to him that we're allowed to go through the door because he's focused and he's paying attention. If we were to go outside and he's just excited and impulsive, he's going to go right out and scan. And we have a shopping cart coming, so I got to work through this. Let's go, bud. He's nervous about the shopping cart. Come here. Now it's potty time. I let him go pee. He didn't pull on the leash to do that. Now I let him sniff around the yard, and he can choose to potty if he wants to. He wants to try and play right now. I'm just not going to buy into it. Let him finish peeing if he wants. Let him find a poop spot if he wants, right? And then all this, there's stimulation going on. If that starts really getting to him and he gets excited about it, I would just communicate like, hey, stop paying attention to that. We're out here for a potty, or we're out here for a walk. Now he's eating the snow. So this could easily be a potty break, or it could be going for a walk. Now he's starting to be a goof. I just communicated him to knock that off. He started eating snow and hopping around. There's nothing wrong with the dog being happy, but I'm not looking for that right now. And with how impulsive this guy is and how easily he self-rewards, I want him to understand that I'm not looking for you to be doing anything except we're out here on a potty break. Now we're going to go for a walk. So I'm going to start going up the sidewalk. I got to pass by some stimulation. I don't want him to just go and check everything out. He's got to walk with me. So if I lose him, I got to communicate to him. Got another shopping cart coming here. He's nervous about it. Now, I didn't really have to do anything because he worked through that on his own. But now we're walking, dog's barking in the car. I just lost him. I got to teach him how to work through this event, right? I didn't even know there were dogs in that car. So I got to move away, and I got to get him back. I got to get his focus back on me. Yes. I used a little leash work there, a little bit of movement. I'm going to do it again. Yes. I want to try and get him focused back on me again. Yes. Right, so this is just an everyday life situation potentially that you could run into. Yes. Now I was able to use lighter communication there to get him to move to me. But this is just something he has to learn how to work through. Yes. Yes. Good boy. And we got to work past this car that he's nervous about. I let him hit the end of the leash. But he's got to learn here to stay with me instead of do his own thing. Sit. Good boy. Good. Heel. Miko. Heel. A lot of stimulation going on right now with people. Dogs blowing up in this car. Nope. Heel. Good. Heel. Good boy. So I'm going to give him extra guidance to try and get through this. Heel. Good boy. Good heel. Nope. Heel. Good boy. Good boy. He's anxious about that. He's getting barked at. He didn't like it. That's okay. But I got to show him that we can get through that together instead of making him feel like he's on his own. See how much he's lost focus after we went by there? He's nervous, and now he's scanning the environment again. So I got to try and get him back. And I use my leash work, right? I use my communication, my body movement to get him refocused on me. Sit. Heel. Good boy. And I can get him back again, right? So now I have him back. And we got through that trigger. We continue our walk. We might have more triggers on this walk. I don't even know. But I gotta help him work through these events. Heel. Nope. Heel. Good. Good boy. Right, so that event shook him up a little bit to the point where he's now scanning, and I got to prevent him from getting into that mindset. So my reward frequency is going to go up. My communication to him is going to go up. I'm not going to expect him to just figure it out on his own. Right, I just communicated to him when he got that reward and he got up. I used the leash to get him to sit back down because we weren't moving yet. Now we're moving. Good. Now he's giving me nice focus. But we moved away from that trigger, right? And all I was doing was trying to come out for a potty break, but guess what? I ran into some nonsense, and I had to work through it and help this guy. No, 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 you don't want that. Looks like throw up. I had to help him out, work through that. We're just going for a walk. Now, sometimes, if I think the dog can do it, I might go past that trigger again. But I think right now, with the success that we had there towards the end, I just want to go for a walk with him and avoid that any further and just, good boy, reward some check-ins and take the stress off of him. Because that was probably the worst I've seen him in a while, working through a situation, right? And we had no idea we were going to run into that. And you never know what you're going to run into on your walks, your potty breaks, whatever with your dog. So if you go into it knowing that you're going to potentially have to help your dog work through something, you're going to have more success. If you're just trying to like make little mini sessions outside of your regular everyday life with your dog, you're going to have less success. Right? So because I was prepared, good boy, because I was prepared going into that, I was able to work him through that. But if I didn't look at things that way, and I wasn't prepared, and I just had a slip lead on him, didn't have food on me, right, I potentially would have failed him, and he would have failed, right? But I was properly equipped for that situation, turned on the skills I needed to, gave the communication I needed to, good boy, and I got him out of it without him blowing up. He was anxious, but he didn't feel like he needed to blow up. We navigated the situation, and now we're on a walk, and he's checking in a lot. Good boy.
So at this point, this is a significant relief of pressure off of him being back here, where there's nothing going on after all that stimulation. But he's going back to a city environment.
Good boy.
So how does that work? Did you hear anything I said?
Yeah. I can hear it. You have more to say?
No, I'm asking.
Oh. What was the question exactly?
So, like, right now, the setup that we have here for this particular situation for this dog,
Good boy.
he went through a lot of stimulation, and now all that pressure's off because there's not much going on back here.
Correct.
So, like, for him and for a lot of dogs, like getting another potential trigger right now might set him up for failure because
Potentially.
his stress level's higher after working through that.
Correct. But we've taken the stress off of him, right, for right now. Now we're going to be going back into people and stuff moving around. Now we're not going to pass that car again because it's not near the door that we have to go into, right? But as we go into, so like right now, I've kind of reduced my reward frequency to him, right? I've kind of like shortened my, or taken my schedule out farther of how much I'm rewarding him. And I'm also communicating a little bit less to him because this is an easier situation for him to handle. I'm still giving him some communication, asking for sits and things like that. But then once we start going up here, my communication is going to have to go back up, right? More guidance for him. And then my reward frequency is going to have to go back up because we're going to be going into that stimulation and he's going to need that help navigating. If I can show him, sit, that I can help him navigate those situations, eventually the rewards go away, the communication stays, and then eventually the communication of how much I'm communicating to him can fade as well because he knows how to handle those situations by just following me, sit, through them because he trusts me, right? But I got to show him that he can follow me through those situations. I have to up my communication, I have to up my reward frequency for the choices that he's making. And then once he figures that out over time, I get more of that naturally. He'll offer more of that focus through that situation instead of freaking out and not knowing what to do. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sort of.
Sit.
I mean, so I think that makes...
Sit. He doesn't want to sit on the wet, so let's get moving. Let's go, bud. You can talk. I'm listening.
So for him, leaving board and train in
A week.
he's going back to Center City, Philadelphia. Going out for a potty break, like literally leaving his house, it's going to be a whole training event. So potentially he's not going to be ready to go for walks in the city, right? Like at this point in his process. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I mean, he's not ready to go for a walk in the sense of like, hey, we're going for a walk and I can be relaxed and I don't have to worry about my dog, right? It's more of like when he gets home, it's going to be the owner's ready, right, to pick up any sort of fixations. When the dog loses her heel, she can communicate back to him like, hey, bud, you're supposed to be following me, right? Remember, paying attention. When he offers some good behavior, she starts rewarding it. So as we get closer up here, I'm losing him a little bit more. So now my communication has to go back up. Yes. And my reward frequency has to go back up for the choices that he makes. Heel. Good boy. Good. Right, and I marked, he didn't look at me, but I marked him being in a good position. And when he does a good job, if I mark that, good boy. He knows that he's going to get rewarded and he's going to start offering more of the same stuff. Easy, bud. Good boy. Yeah. Good job. So yeah, going back home, there's some work to be done, right? The handler, his owner, is going to have to create more relevance about herself and learn how to communicate stuff to him. So like right there, he started getting ahead of me. I gave him some leash pressure. I stopped, moved back a little bit and let him come back into me to let him know he was wrong. I'm going to do the same thing here. Heel. Right, and I remind him what I want him to do so he can start doing it. If he does a good job, good. I can reward him. Because he knows we're coming back into stuff, right? He knows where he's at. He knows we're back around to the entrance again. So he knows stimulation's coming back on, and he might be worried about seeing that car again. He doesn't know where the heck I'm going to go. Good boy. Good job, buddy. So it was a little test. Just did a quick 180 to see where he was at. I let him hit the end of the leash. So So he's scanning again. So now I got to get my communication level up. That's not just the leash. Sometimes it's movement, right? Me changing direction, good boy, is communication because he's supposed to be following, right? If he's following, good. He's not going to need the leash to communicate that I'm turning and moving and doing whatever. Good boy. Right, so communication is more than just leash. Sometimes it's just stopping. Right, I communicated that I wanted him to stop by stopping, and he knows that. I reinforced that. Start moving again. Right, if he didn't stop with me, he would have felt the leash, right, which is another form of communication. Or I could verbally say something to him. Heel. Good boy. Let's go through this stuff, bud. Back in the yard. Now he knows we're going to go inside, but I'm not going to let him just pull me to the door. He's got to walk calmly with me. Heel. See how he doesn't want to spin into heel right now? He wants to figure out what's going on elsewhere. Sit. Miko, sit. Heel. I got to get him back into this healthy mindset again. Going inside is going to turn pressure off when we get back inside the facility, right? The pressure of the world is gone, right? And all the stimulation. There's geese in the air right now. There's people moving around. Doors opening and closing. Cars driving by. That's a lot. So I got to show him that he can just follow me through all that. He doesn't have to guess about what to do. Let's go, bud. Sit. Now sit. He doesn't want to sit because it's wet. Let's go. Now, just because everything he worked through, he's done with that, doesn't mean we just walk right in. It's the same thing. Let's go. Patience to go back inside. All right, I always want the dog thinking. Sit. And working for me. Let's go. Good boy. Yes. Whoa. Now I just turn on a little bit of fun. Yes. Because the pressure is off. We worked through some stuff. He had a little bit of a hard time. I helped him out. Now we're inside. The pressure's gone. Can make him feel good about it. Yes. He offers me some focus. I'm going to reward that extra funly. Funly, that's not a word. I'm going to be more funner, as Jamie would say, and create a little excitement about the yes. Right? The marking, rewarding, chasing. Oh, I went this way. Oh, I went this way. Play a little game with him. And now he's ready to be put up and take a break because that was stressful. Right? That was a learning experience for him. It's a learning experience for me. So we both get a break. Might put him on place if I had time, right? And that's what I was doing. He might get a decompressed break on place, but we're not doing that right now, so he just gets a break in the crate. Sit. Good boy.
And that was a 25-minute training session.
Go ahead in, bud. Good boy. So, training sessions are part of your life. Moments that you spend with your dog are training moments. Those should be the training sessions if they already have the skills. When they don't have skills, you're working on some repetition work to teach words and leash communication and things like that, right? But then once you have that base, you got to take it out and operate it, right? I had to operate a variety of different things. I had him sitting, heeling. Right? I used the no reward marker a few times. Got a couple leash corrections. He got some leash communication. I used my body to help him move with me. It wasn't stand there and see what the dog is going to do and correct them if they're wrong, right? Try and help them. So your training sessions with your dog shouldn't just be these like isolated events that you're like, all right, we're going to do a session right now. It should be your life with your dog, is teaching them how to exist in the world, how to work through triggers, how to work through the stress of all the stuff that they see. So if you think about it that way, you'll have a lot more success. Thanks, guys.